Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the University of Illinois Springfield. Wasn't that delightful? How about another round of applause for Tom Irwin? Thank you, Tom. I'm so pleased that Tom agreed to be part of this event today with selections from his Sangamon Songs album. And luckily for us, he will be performing more of his songs later this afternoon. I first heard Tom's Sangamon Songs, like some others in this room, during a musical play adaptation of his album performed right here in the UIS Studio Theater a few months ago. I was instantly enchanted by his storytelling and musical abilities. Sangamon Songs sets to music entries from a diary written in 1893 by a teenager who lived in what is now the Irwin Farm, right here in Sangamon County. Tom found the diary in 2006 tucked away inside a pie tin cabinet at his family's rural home near Pleasant Plains. Tom composed the songs as part of a project for his master's thesis right here at UIS. The result is an album that is equal parts history lesson and musical masterpiece. We thought it fitting that this talented UIS alum perform today, as his songs are the perfect complement to this exciting new initiative that celebrates the rich history of the Sangamon region. Only a few months ago, this space was a whole lot more sparse, as some of you may know. The former home of UIS Dining Services, but we knew it held the promise of something much more, that it could be a place befitting a university planted firmly in the soil of central Illinois. And my husband, the farmer, tells me it's IPAVA soil, in case you're interested. A university that is dedicated to providing a premier educational experience for all who walk through our doors. Imagine our excitement then when construction began just a few months ago. This space has now been transformed into what you will see shortly. My sincere thanks to the talented members of our own facilities team, as well as Limbaugh Construction, B&B Electric, and Central Illinois Security, all of whom made important contributions to this project. I want to give a special shout out to Keith Stewart, UIS Director Construction, who took the lead on this project. Keith, I know you're here somewhere. Where are you? You need to step up. There he is, right there. Thank you. Thank you so much, Keith. So we call this, as you can see, the Sangamon Experience, and we are delighted to share it with all of you for the very first time today. The Sangamon Experience is a celebration of the history of our home, the Sangamon Valley, and what a history it is. From its earliest Native American inhabitants to today, the Sangamon region's ever-evolving legacy has many significant moments to explore. The Sangamon Experience would not have been possible without a very generous gift from a true friend of the university. Our donor wishes to remain anonymous, and I will honor that request. I would be remiss, though, if I didn't share with you that this generous contribution has allowed for the creation of a unique, creative, and vibrant new learning experience, not only for our students, but for our community. Their vision for what could be is now realized, and it's an amazing sight to behold. On behalf of the university, I thank our philanthropist for seeing the potential in the Sangamon Experience and for investing in it with us. Today is just the beginning of the teaching, research, and community engagement that will be the ongoing gift of this initiative. Collaboration and participation from the community will be a key element in the success of the Sangamon Experience. That is why I am pleased to see so many of our local leaders in attendance today, including several of our elected officials. Illinois Senate Majority Leader Kimberly Lightford, State Senator Steve McClure, State Representative Mike Murphy, State Representative Tim Butler, Springfield Mayor Jim Langfelder, Springfield City Council members Chuck Redpath and Joe McMenamin, Sangamon County Board member Tim Krell, Daniel Lewis, Staff Assistant to U.S. Senator Dick Durbin, and Candace Trees in attendance on behalf of Congressman Rodney Davis. These folks are all here, so let's give them a round of applause. Would you please stand? Please stand. Well, I guess I don't have the authority to make them stand, but they're here. They're here, and we greatly appreciate it. So thank you all so much for being part of this celebration today. This is a very, very exciting moment in our shared history. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Devin Hunter, Assistant Professor of History at UIS and our faculty lead on this project. Dr. Hunter earned his PhD in Public History from Loyola University, and his research interests center on the ways communities like ours identify and understand themselves. He will talk a little bit more about what the Sangamon Experience means for UIS, for our students, and for our community. Dr. Hunter.
Thank you, Chancellor, and that's the first of many thanks. I owe a lot of people. I only have a few minutes, so I apologize for not being able to thank everyone who deserves it. About 1 year ago exactly, we had our first meetings here at UIS and with some of our community partners here in this space with a few tables pulled together, and just trying to envision what the space might be and how it could fulfill the mission of the very fledgling Sangamon Experience at the time. As you'll see, it's in development. And that's a good thing because the core mission of Sangamon Experience is to be collaborative, both with students, other faculties, and especially with the community here. So we ask you to help us create this space to fulfill the mission. I mentioned a lot of people I want to thank. I want to echo what Chancellor Cook said about Keith Stewart and all of his team at UIS Construction over really the last year and certainly the last few weeks. And to give you an idea of the amount of collaboration, some other people that are really important, literally not be possible without them. We talk about including students from the ground up in this project. And some of the exhibit space that you'll see here was designed with several students, including Katie Bredhorst and Gabby Antonacci, who are up here front. And Elizabeth Shue, our history department graduate assistant, helped out in the last few days. It was very important. I want to thank Jeff Williams over at Creative Services, who did a lot of the graphics work, of the graphics behind me here, and coordinated a lot of the printing as well. And then finally, I want to thank the Community Advisory Council. This is a group that was established really from the very beginning that serves as our kind of entry point, our primary feedback presence in the community. And some of the exhibit space here has come about because of comments from the Community Advisory Council. Some of the content, some of the research specifically from, for example, the Sangamon Valley Collection at the Lincoln Public Library, Curtis Mann and Stephanie Martin. And then some of the suggestions for these portraits you'll see on the other side of the wall by the window essentially were nominated by the Community Advisory Council. There are 16 of them, so I'm not going to thank them all. I would forget them. But as a way to maybe give thanks, hopefully have time to catch up with them in the crowd and introduce you around to some of our other guests. And then finally, before I bring up our last speaker, what will you see here and what is next? What you see here, as I mentioned, an unfinished space. Lots of blank walls, not a lot, quite a few. Screens that say they're interactive, not quite interactive just yet, but that's fine. because we are building this from the ground up with the community. But you will see some content about the years 1800 to 1860 along this wall, some portraits in the background there, and just a snippet of some of the digital items that we have, just the very tip. So with that, I'm going to bring up one more person here to talk to you, sort of the representative of the community, a great friend of local history with deep roots in the area, Mr. Bill Ferry of the Illinois State Historical Society.
Thank you, Devin, and thank you, UIS, for having me here to speak today. Chancellor Cook, esteemed guests, students, faculty, and generous members of the Sangamon community. Sangamon isn't coordinates on a map. It isn't just a county or a river or a valley. It is an experience. And it is an experience that's been unfolding for centuries. The first people to inhabit this land did so 10,000 years ago, before it was settled, before it was channeled, before it was subdivided, before it became the Sangamon County we know today. We are just the latest stewards of the Sangamon experience. Others will build on the foundations we construct now. At least we hope so. It has been the same space, the same soil, the same waterways that have witnessed 10,000 years of stories, some known, some lost forever. It is my hope that the Sangamon experience will be more than a repository of these stories. I hope it will be a voice for retelling them. The Sangamon River meanders from Champaign to Decatur, from Springfield to Beardstown, touching a half a dozen counties and dozens of communities. All of these locations look to the University of Illinois as a lighthouse for education. Having this exhibition in Springfield at UAS, where scholars and educators can show how our history weaves and winds around us and binds us together, is an invaluable asset that everyone should appreciate. I hope that one day every county in Illinois has its own version of the Sangamon experience. This is a model of how we bring history together in a meaningful way that can touch all lives and all people who view it. It will be a wonderful resource for today's students and future generations, but also for older folks who might never have had the opportunity to learn about the history of our land. And now it's my honor to be a part of this ribbon cutting for the Sangamon experience at UIS. Chancellor Cook, Dr. Hunter, and I will be joined by Katie Brethurst and Gabby Antonacci. Students who have worked on the exhibits you're about to see. Also taking part is my dear friend Tara McClellan-McAndrew, a member of the Sangamon Experience Community Advisory Council, which provides feedback and suggests directions to UIS for sustaining of the Sangamon experience. And members of the Chapin family, including the late Charles Chapin, whose dream this was as well. And his family, Nancy, Ann, and Sally, will be joining us for the ribbon cutting. After the ribbon cutting is done, please join us in exploring the exhibition space as it opens to the public for the very first time. The next chapter of the Sangamon experience starts now. Please come join me.
Everybody get your scissors on there.
1, 2, 3.